The Lord be with you. My dear friends, there are many reasons to be afraid and anxious these days. While many are afraid that they will die of hunger, ill health, poverty, be unemployed, lose their relationships, or being replaced by technology, some are afraid of a constant threat to life and property or political instability. We are perplexed by the enormity of our pain, fear, anxiety, or loss. And of course, out of frustration, we might even curse the events and circumstances that brought us much pain and turn from the path of goodness and righteousness. But it is okay to be afraid. That is normal. Our survival instincts include the ability to flee from danger. We are wired to take flight from anything that threatens our life. And it doesn't matter whether you are weak or strong. Sisters and brothers, in the midst of the tempest of life, many of us might question the power or goodness of God. But if you are frustrated with God's silence, it is okay, but don't stop walking by faith. God surprises us, breaks into and comes to us silently when we are grieved with fear or distress. So be alert for God's voice. If we miss hearing Him in the storm, it may be very difficult to hear Him when all is well and good. God speaks to us in various ways all the time. All we need to do is be attentive. And until we listen to what the Lord says, we will constantly be overwhelmed by the storms of life. The answers to life's most pressing questions might not be found in threatening elements like strong wind, storm, earthquake, fire, or babbling prayer, but in a silent sound of divine presence. In the silence of unanswered questions, we can wait for the Lord's tiny whispering sound. A trusting cry to the Lord is more powerful than a despairing question or fearful lament. God stills every storm to a whisper and hushes the waves of the sea. Therefore, instead of fear or distrust, consider being more trusting, silent, and attentive when buffeted by the storm of life. Elijah and Peter, you and me, are subject to existential fear. But what we fear could direct our journey to an awesome or fearful encounter with the divine. Elijah was afraid and fled for his life when threatened by Ahab and Jezebel. But his flight from danger took a surprising turn. Elijah's tumultuous journey ended with a divine encounter. I often wondered why a wonderful prophet like Elijah should run for his life. But soon I realized that he was not running aimlessly. God used the circumstance of Elijah's life to guide him on a journey to a deeper encounter with him. Peter too was able to walk on the water of a stormy sea by the command of the Lord, but the sight of the storm was frightening, and as Peter began to sink, he cried out, "Lord, save me." God spoke to Job in the heart of the tempest and instructed Elijah in his flight from danger to trust him. Jesus appeared on time, walking on water, saying to his disciples and saying to all of us, "Take courage, it is I, do not be afraid." When Jesus got into the boat, the wind died down, the sea was silent and calm. And that is what happens when God steps into the situations of our life. So astonished by the miracle, the disciples could not speak, but worshipped the Lord. The storm of life is real, my brothers and sisters. And while we acknowledge the reality of the storm as such, we should not let it slow us down on our journey with God. Divine favor is abundantly poured out in difficult times. The temptation is that many of us succumb to the pain or the feelings of the moment, and we let this distract us from hearing the Lord in times of storm or distress. In God's presence, we can withstand every storm. So while in the eye of the storm, focus on the one who has power over all creation. Stay on course with the Lord, the way, the truth, and the life. To every action, there is an equal and opposite reaction. You must respond to any action that causes you to be afraid or fearful with an opposite action that evokes in you a deeper encounter with the divine. When the storm of persecution, suffering, or failure comes after you, run towards the rock of your salvation, Jesus Christ, the Lord of heaven and earth and its fullness. Only Jesus knows what you fear, and he sees what you're going through from a distance, and he walks in to calm that fear and bring you peace. Trust in him. God bless you.